Good morning. It's day 89. It's absolutely gorgeous again. I think we're putting together a pretty good string of absolutely gorgeous days this week. It's a breezy and cool 60 at the moment, mid-morning. Not even going to tell you what time it actually is. But yeah, when I woke up this morning, it was 45. So that's the coldest we've seen in several weeks. Oh, today it's 14.2 miles to the shelter after next. The not quite halfway point is going to be the priest shelter, which is kind of trail notorious for being where everyone writes their confessions in the logbook, their trail sins, as it were. So I'm gonna have to ruminate on that for a little bit. Plus, it's quite entertaining to go back and read some of the logs. But that's the tradition at the priest. So that Spy Rock Road goes down to the town of Montebello. I thought I read in far out that it said not open to hikers, but I know a couple of guys I'm hiking with are planning to go there for resupply today because it's so relatively close. I'm almost 3 miles in, but there's a little side trail to a scenic lookout called Spy Rock. And as I look up to this giant boulder to my right, I am afraid I may have to climb that as part of this little side trail to Spy Rock. Sort of looks like, but I might as well take the side trail to the scenic view today, since I've already demonstrated that I am in no rush. Hello.
Where'd y'all start at? I saw you kind of...
The priest?
like High River? Okay. Yeah, I'm right up above Crabtree Falls.
Okay. Oh, okay. You went to Crabtree and then came down from there?
Okay.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
You guys parked at? You said you came...
I did some photos up there and forgot to do a video, so this is video of me walking back down. This portion is very reminiscent of Stone Mountain in Atlanta. You're just walking down the face of a boulder. Can't tell if it's granite or not. It doesn't seem like granite, but it's very similar to Stone Mountain. Getting close to a road crossing before I start my climb up to the priest shelter where I intend to have lunch. It was almost exactly 4 miles from Spy Rock to the priest shelter, and then I think it's like another mile or so beyond that to the priest summit. But I'll stop for lunch at priest shelter in gosh, I don't know. Here's the road. I see the signs. Or some kind of trail crossing. Also, this dense brambly thicket right here is just very dense with floral aromas as well. Smells great. Well, there's a glimpse of a trail crew back there replacing the old shelter sign with a new shelter sign. I wonder who gets to keep the old shelter sign. Is that one of the perks of being on the crew, is the souvenirs? The old weathered sign you took down. That would be kind of cool. Well, I'm here at the priest shelter, taking a lunch break. I'm about to dive into this, the confessional, and probably make some entries of my own. Well, I've been reading this, and the very consistent theme is that a lot of people are having sex on trail with their hiking partners and people. Nobody digs 6-inch cat holes. Everybody pees on the side of the trail and feels guilty about it. And beyond that, there's not a lot of creativity in here. I'll have to dig a little deeper. I'm surprised to learn that people are feeling guilty about peeing on the side of the trail. I didn't realize that was a faux pas or not common. I mean, obviously it's common practice, but not just where you pee. Like, who cares where you pee? It just soaks into the ground. It's the poop you have to worry about. I abandoned my first tramley because they were too slow and annoyed me, and then they drew a little stick figure shrugging emoji. Forgive me for what I've sent. I always sleep with my food. There's a lot of that one. Pee on the side of the trail and pink blazed once. Pink blazing is when you adjust your hiking pace to keep pace with someone who you have a romantic interest in. Forgive me for I've sinned. Every tick I've found I've executed in the most creatively medieval way possible. Some truly disturbing stuff. I understand a tick is one of God's creatures, but why in the F would you order Noah to shuttle 2 of these effers into the ark? What were you thinking? I'm slack packing with the Stanimals 4-day package into Waynesboro, and I don't even feel a twinge of guilt. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I cook in my tent and sleep with my food in the vestibule. Bears aren't real. So my hike out of here, as soon as I finish eating, will be a 5-mile, 3,000-foot descent at 16% grade. So that sounds brutal. Followed by a 2-mile, 1,200-foot ascent, which that's a normal ascent, a normal difficult ascent. But 5 miles, 3,000 feet down, and it's at a consistent 16%. So this ought to be interesting. I mean, that's going to put me into camp at like 7:30 tonight, almost 8, depending on how much longer I hang out here. Because I have 8 miles, which is 4 hours, and it's 3:30 right now. Look at these fancy new signs. They were just installed today. Taking my break, coming down this mountain. I'm 4 miles down and 1 mile to go, down the north face of Priest Mountain. Yeah, pretty rough descent. The top third, I would say, is very rocky and technical, and then it kind of settled into just a zigzag of switchbacks that were still not perfectly smooth, but a little bit more consistent than the top. And it's slow going, and the steepness hasn't been too bad. My legs don't hurt, but my feet do a little bit. But I've got 4 more miles, 1 down and 3 up, 1 down, 2 up, and then kind of 1 to the shelter. Crossing this highway, I'm trying to figure out where the trail comes out. I think it's over here. And back into the woods. It smells great. I can't smell it. It smells like fresh hay or like chamomile. There's some There's some flower that grows in a meadow that I remember used to smell like chamomile to me in Switzerland, that they would, where the cows would graze, or where they would mow for hay. And that's what I'm smelling right now, or was. Reached the top of that climb, 2 miles exactly, 2.0 in 50 minutes, all climbing at the end of the day. So I say that's not bad. Now we have 0.8 to the shelter, which by my math is 24 minutes, which put us there about 5 minutes before 8.